Hi everybody, my name is Brie, if you don't know me, and I'm going to be talking a little bit today about everything that's going on in MilSpouse world. I don't normally do this. I've never really made a lot of vlog about military related things because that means it's going up on YouTube and that invites a whole other crowd to see it. But today I guess I feel gutsy and I'm ready to be ripped apart because I'm probably going to be. I don't know why this happens to me, that I feel oftentimes things go on in our military spouse community and it's running around like chickens with your heads cut off, and here's me in the middle of it going, crazy people, crazy people, crazy people, like they're just being completely insane and freaking out, and I'm the one, woosah, but so then I'm trying to be the voice of reason, and oftentimes I have 50 million crazy people coming on to me saying, no, this is bad, and I'm like, okay, and I just sit there and say, okay, it's bad for you, and then nothing happens. Let's take, for example, the military pay freeze. Back at the beginning of the year, maybe even December time, I can't even remember, but it was months ago. People were, oh my God, they're going to freeze our pay. Mind you, not cut our pay, freeze our pay. And everyone's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm just like, this is going to blow over. This is not going to happen. Like, really? And if it does, they're freezing your pay. They're not cutting your pay. They're pausing it. Like, this is what you're going to continue to get paid instead of getting an annual raise every year. And I guess I could say a lot about it, but it's pretty much over, I think. I mean, nobody really mentions it a lot anymore. But what it comes down to for me is they're freezing it. They're not cutting it. I'm getting by fine on what we're getting paid now. I'm not counting on his raise. Like, we're doing okay on what we make. If you're not, honestly, you should probably revise your financial situation, because what if your husband, is, what is the word for it? I don't know, there's a term for repeating Lance Corporal, but I can't even remember what the word is, but, well, your husband might not get that shiny promotion, so you're not getting that raise. So what's the annual raise? I mean, God, some people in this economy are just glad to have jobs, and you're freaking out because you're not getting a raise. Like, really? I mean, God help my mom when she sees people talking about this on my Facebook, because my parents have been through such shitty financial situations, and it's up and down. They'll have money and they'll be doing great, and then suddenly there's no business coming into my dad's work, and people are getting laid off, or people are going without pay, and here we are bitching about our pay raise and our pay freeze, and no idea what's going on in the city world, where I know families who are living in halfway houses, and we still have our housing over our heads, I mean, unless you're living out in town on BH, which, my heart goes out to you, I'm sorry, if you have to pay out of pocket on top of BH for whatever house you occupy, that sucks, it really does, but I know housing is crazy, and they really need to unfuck that whole housing situation, but I mean, I feel like a lot of city families are going through worse. And sometimes I feel like as military wives, we can be selfish because we're so used to having these benefits and so used to having these things that normal civilian families aren't getting, that whenever the government threatens to take them away from us, yes, it's not fair, but it could be worse when you compare us with these civvy families. And there are going to be some of you who say, well, my husband joined for job security. Mine did too, to be honest, but are they really the right reasons to join the military? Because I can tell you that the men who are doing it for the best reasons, which is wanting to fight for this country, they would gladly do so without pay. They're probably not bitching, their wives are. And that breaks my heart, because they would put their lives on the line without this money, but they have kids or they have wives who are blowing it. And I'm not saying the kids are blowing it, I mean, maybe if you have teenagers, but a lot of these wives are just going crazy with their husband's money while they're deployed. And these guys are putting their asses on the lines, and I feel like that's the biggest slap in the face to them. That's my opinion. Whatever. But, most of the people whining are the wives. You don't really hear the men whining a lot, and I think that's because they're like, I have a job to do anyways. Pay or not, my country is shit right now. I'm gonna do this. And I guess the reason that I feel so strongly about this is I want to enlist very, very badly. It doesn't even have to do with pay as much as I can't see myself going to college to do some job I'm going to hate for the rest of my life. I want to feel like I'm part of something that's mattering. And I wanted to enlist before I got pregnant with my first child. And then I found out I was pregnant actually right around the time my husband enlisted, which was when I started thinking about it. And I started thinking about it again a few months ago. Found out I was pregnant with our second child. And I've actually had friends say to me, and I cannot believe they've said this, well, maybe that's God's way of saying you're supposed to be a mom. And I instantly have to bite my lip because it's like, oh, so enlisting means you're not a mom. Like, what? You know, and so my husband, because he's enlisted, he's not a father, you know, just, it really, really aggravates the shit out of me. But I want to serve my country, and I want to do this. And I've got 50 million people telling me I can't. And to be honest, the last thing on my mind right now is how much money I'm going to be making doing it. It's the truth. You know, there are people out there in worse situations than I. Yeah, even with all the military pay free talk that's going on, I would gladly still enlist, despite the fact they might take my pay off of me. I would, in a heartbeat. I don't know. This whole situation is blowing my mind because what it comes down to with this whole, you know, military shutdown, you know, and all that. My heart goes out to you if you really do have big bills you have to pay and you are in a financial situation that is out of your control, that you ended up in, and not having this pay is going to screw you over. My heart goes out to you if you have family and your kids to feed. But if you are one of these wives who have no kids, you have no job, pretty much your biggest hobby is shopping, and here you are now freaking out about this military pay shutdown, I don't have a lot of empathy for you. I see so many young military couples that are like, oh, we're newlywed, you know, we have all this money, and he got a bonus from deployment, so I'm just going to go buy this and this and this, and then things like this come up, and it's like, why didn't you save? And I don't want to hear it when it comes to those people. And there are people who are, you know, if it's you. And that's all I'm going to say. So stop your Facebook status updates about, oh my God, we're going to be so broke. And look at the Mustang that's swinging in your driveway. I'm talking to you, neighbors across the street. Thankfully, they're not on my Facebook friend list or anything like that, so they won't see this. But it's just, it's ridiculous. There are some of us who really are going to be fucked by this, and like I said, I have compassion for you. But for the ones of you that, I mean, we're on E3 pay, and we have 2 kids, and we're in the middle of a move right now. This couch is like the only piece of furniture left in this house right now. We have to write out $1,000 to Forest City this week because we're living in 2 Forest City houses technically, and they're charging us for 2 weeks of BAH because we moved out 2 weeks before our 1 Forest City contract was up, I guess you could say. So they're charging us 2 weeks BAH that we have to pay out of our own pocket, and the other Forest City that we're moving into is taking our new BAH. So we're paying double right now, and we're dishing out this check. And I said something to a friend about it, about how, oh shit, I forgot to pay Forest City. And she said to me, oh my God. And she goes, that's money you could be like, she goes, I wouldn't. And she goes, that's money you could be like saving for, you know, this pay shutdown. And I just look at her and I'm just like, please. I'm like, we have money saved up. You know, it's just, nobody else seems to. It just, blows my mind, like trying to imagine it. I don't want to know your specific situation. Please don't try to justify to me why you're upset about this by saying, well, my situation, you know, we have this to pay, that. I don't, it's fine. It's your situation. You decide for yourself if you have a reason to bitch. But all I'm saying is, in my opinion, the people who are out blowing money like crazy and doing stupid things with their money, and then this happens, and they don't have any savings, you don't have a reason to bitch. Or, I mean, maybe if you had savings and then you ran out, start bitching. But, you know, if you just didn't bother to ever set anything aside for emergency because you're under this poor illusion that because we're military, we never have financial problems because, oh, we get a steady paycheck and, you know, like, benefits and all these things. Yeah, we do. We are definitely more lucky than civilians. I know that military pay, basic pay, actually isn't as much, but when you gather in all the benefits that we make, I mean, we're very lucky people. And we sacrifice other things, like our husbands being away, but we get those kind of benefits, and to me that kind of weighs it out. Am I mad that the government's fucking us over? Hell yes, I am. And I understand the bitching about that. Bitch away about that. God, maybe someone will finally hear us. Because unfortunately the government always turns to the military to unfuck the situation. However, we know this. We've tried writing letters to Congress. We've tried singling out Obama in our Facebook statuses. Mr. Obama, this and this and this and this. And it's like, yeah, you think he reads your Facebook status? Like, I don't know. It's something we grow from, we learn from. We have to accept, we have to deal with. I hate to say it, but we have to deal with it. In my opinion, we could be dealing with much worse. Take, for example, people freaking out about the whole pay freeze, and that we're not getting raises. Civilians, that I personally know, my father went without his annual raise, or his bonus even. I mean, they used to even send turkeys. Like, I remember as a kid, my dad's company was going with all these years, and he still is, used to send turkeys for Thanksgiving home with, just different things have been cut back that we were used to growing up with. And it's like, they deal, but they're civilians and we're military, so we think we deserve more. And maybe we do, but it doesn't change that they're going through worse, so I don't know. I mean, I see the struggle my parents are going through, because they are. I mean, it's up and down. They will have money, and when they do, I kind of feel indifferent about it. When they do have the money, they go on vacations. And I know that's not saving money. It's completely contradictory to what I say, but my mom's excuse, which, I just accept it, and I say, okay, I understand. I understand it. Would I do it personally? No. My mom's excuse is, well, we could be broke next week. Your dad could be laid off next week. Right now we have the money. We're going on a cruise to Mexico, which they do. They love to cruise. They go cruise lining all the time. Maybe not at the times I would, considering these economic times, but, that's going to get them through. If they're going to have those memories to hold on to, because they might not have the paycheck next week, I get it. I totally get it. It's the same reason why, I have friends whose husbands are leaving deployments in just a couple weeks, and here's this pay shutdown happening, and they had pre-deployment, vacations with their husbands planned, because they're not going to see their husbands for, at least 7 months, maybe more, and they're still going on them. And I get it. I understand. Yeah, they're going to be broke if this shutdown happens, but I totally understand. Take that vacation with your husband, because God only knows what's going to happen, and it's just, I don't know. I just feel like we all need to just keep in perspective that worse things could happen. When life is good and when things are okay, don't live beyond your means. Don't push yourself tight. See those free resources on base that are offered to us, like the financial planning visits and things. Don't decide, oh, we're good right now. We have this bonus, so we're going to blow it. Think savings. There's the thrift savings plan. My husband and I use it. We have so many accounts and so many different, banks and plans like that. I mean, you can't even imagine. But I can tell you that if my husband goes career and he retires at 40, we're okay. It's just, I just wish that people would be more aware that even when things are good and you're having that steady pay, just because you're in the military doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow. And that is a very, very, very sad thing, because, yeah, we're military, we give up so much. Don't we at least deserve to be paid? But we also get a lot too. And the one thing that I hope that I've gotten is a community of women who will read this, hear this, maybe not agree with everything, but understand, and, share their thoughts in totally not insulting ways, because I'm sorry, if the only thing you have to say is, you're a dumb bitch, or you're an asshole, or any other probably popular opinion about me, don't bother. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I just feel like we have a lot to be grateful for, and in our community we fail sometimes to look at what's happening everywhere else in the United States. These people that we're fighting for are, believe it or not, in worse financial situations than we're about to find ourselves in. And I just think we need to keep that in mind. So that's my thought. We'll see y'all later. Bye.